wonderful view of the mountaintop with a lot of the other buildings of the Holiday Inn Tahoe Resort. And another view of the golf course and a patio on the first floor. Hey, what's going on, y'all? David Conrad Bach back for another video of the GTAdventures series Tahoe Edition. Today is June 5th, 2023. Today we have a lot going on, including one of the Tahoe mansions. I'll put a link in the description below of what it's called. But there's this really cool historic mansion that we're gonna go check out. So, enjoy. So we are here at the mansion area. There's an observational tower right there. Actually pretty cool. And I believe, oh, this is the barn and coach house actually. So this is another important building in the area. But here's the sign right there. This sign shows some info regarding the Pine Lodge at the mansion here. In 1901, businessman Isaiah W. Hellman hired well-known San Francisco architects Bliss and Fayville to build the summer retreat that he chose. He chose this building site among his 1,016 acres for a spectacular 3-story 11,703 square foot Pine Lodge. Hellman's daughter Florence married Sidney Ehrman, thus the name Ehrman Mansion. This family used the home from 1903 until 1965, when Mr. Hellman's great-granddaughter, Christian, sold the home to the state of California. Much of the materials used in the home came from the surrounding area, including granite that was used in the living room fireplace, which came from a quarry at nearby Meeks Creek. Lumber came from Hobart Mills, near Truckee. After shipping to Tahoe City, the lumber then traveled across the lake on barges to the location that is here today. Over here is this amazing relic here at the Hellman-Ehrman Mansion. It looks like some very old oven or fireplace. Excuse me. Just look at how tall that is. Over here are some more relics. Looks like old electric machinery, like old electric motors. You can see there's a shaft. Just very impressive relics of the past. Let's see what this says. Century Electric Company. Looks like this was manufactured 1914, I believe. Yeah, 1914. Okay. That is impressive. Over 100 years old. Wow. And over here is some large pits. I don't know what it's used for, but it looks very big. And then here is the old lodge with the watchtower. We are now entering the Sugar Pine Point State Park Nature Center. Let's do it. This is an example of a food chain. A coyote eats a rabbit or hare, and a hare eats grass. There's so many different ways that you can put a food chain. even making webs out of it. There's a marmot. There's a marmot.
On the door. Daddy, I see spider web on the door.
Oh, Mink.
Thank you so much. Hey, you.
And a quail.
Hi, you.
This is the discovery table, which has lots of stuff that you can touch, like fur for animals. Let's see. Oh shoot, that is nice. It's really soft. These are horns for deers or antelopes, I believe. It's really smooth. Really smooth. And then this is the skull of some sort. This is smoother than this. These are apparently logs. I mean, I think these are logs. Yeah, these are more than likely logs. Very beautiful. Oh, here's a coyote. I was wondering what that is. That's the Cooper's hawk. And the red-tailed hawk. These are all birds. Ducks. That's very cute. Flycatcher.
On the left, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I read that wrong.
This is the employee residence. And then over here is the butler's cabin. Here's the butler's cabin. This building is used today as restrooms. However, back in the day, this was the maid's cabin. Very cool how they repurposed it. There's an arch on the side. This is the Pine Lodge, which is actually where we'll have a tour of. We're not going to start the mansion tour, y'all.
The Washoe tribe has been here for 10,000 years, and they hold Lake Tahoe and it's the area around it, the Tahoe Basin, considered sacred. And I wanted to acknowledge that we're still learning from the Washoe people and the Washoe tribe, and we'll be celebrating their legacy next Saturday at Donner Memorial State Park. I'm really excited about that. Before this house was built, There was one gentleman over here who did not get along with the Washoe people, and his name was General Phipps, because he was hunting, he was gathering, they were hunting, and they were gathering in the same space. You can check out his cabin if you walk around down past the boathouse in that area. The caretaker of this home, when it was not, when nobody was here, and when the family left it in the summer months, the caretaker had to make sure everything was, the roads was shoveled and snow, and if things break, he had to fix it. And he lived there without running water or electricity until 1927, when everything got on the grid. You can see his home, but please don't go into the windows because it is a private state residence. There are bare fences, but you can see his outhouse, which he had to use because there was no running water.
Wow.
If you look into the woods a little bit more carefully than I did the first time. I missed it the first time, and then that. The ice house, which Miss Ehrman, who is the airman of Hellman-Ehrman, she's the daughter of Mr. Hellman. She insisted on fresh ice, so there's also the ice house. She employed 6 workers to break up the ice, and it had to be positioned and put in the ice house during the winter. So that was very important to her to have fresh ice, and it was carted to the house in sawdust. And over here, that is on the south end, that was a hotel which burned. And those encompass the properties that were here before this property was bought by Isaiah's owner. But before I'll tell you about the property, I want to tell you about the man himself. Self-made man. He started from basically nothing, but he had himself, and he was betting on himself to make it across the world and to land in Los Angeles. He was 17 years old in 1859. He traveled with his younger brother, who was 15, from Bavaria, Germany. They didn't speak the language. They didn't know the culture. And at that time, it was a very difficult journey, not only because of shipwrecks and because of things going wrong, which was a lot of opportunity for things to go wrong, like the Donner Party, besides them getting stuck in the winter. You had mechanical failures, and you had a big disease called cholera. There was no cure for it, and the cure for it just came much later when a gentleman in the late 19th century figured out it was water contamination. They made it to Los Angeles, started in mercantile merchandising, and Isaiah Hellman grew with banking, and as he grew, acquired more wealth, and an opportunity came in 1890 for him to move his family, his wife Esther, his 3 children, Isaiah Jr., Clara, and Florence. Remember the name Florence. They are now moved to San Francisco. And as we know, Bay Area friends, winters are not the winters, but the summers are foggy, and you want to get out of there. And that time was no different. They wanted to, along with their wealthy friends, take their home and move it to Lake Tahoe for the summer. Okay, and that's what they did. So the idea started percolating, especially when Mr. Hellman bought 1,016 acres in 1897, 2 miles of lakefront. And this house, the building started in 1901, 1902, completed 1903. Family is now enjoying their first summer retreat. And in subsequent years, it would take up to 10 days for the transition from nobody here to the whole family here, to get everything going. Pretty much what our parks have to do to get ready for the summer season. So it's very similar because we're closed for tours in the winter, and we only start in late May when it comes to Memorial Day. And we stopped getting tours, not Labor Day, they left on Labor Day, but we stopped September 30th. So we do have another month. So I'll be here till October. I'm really, really excited about that. Thank you, summer season. Anyway, so Mr. Hellman enjoyed his first summer here with the family in 1903. His daughter was 17. His daughter married Sidney Ehrman in 1904, and they enjoyed a 60-year-long marriage. Unfortunately, Mr. Hellman's wife, Esther, Florence's mom, and the other sibling's mom passes in 1908. The mom only has 5 summers here. And then Hellman, Mr. Hellman, and his son, Isaiah Jr., passed away the same year in 1920. The daughter, who was not associated with the house, Clara, she has really a good inheritance for her to go off on her own, and she lives a good life, and she dies in 1959. And at that point, that is when Florence, in her early 30s, inherits the house, this house on Lodge. And she is now the proprietress, the manager, and she has, of course, there's more time for her to develop it. So it's more Ehrman, I would say, than Hellman, in a way. Although she's still, of course, Hellman is her maiden name. Sydney is her husband, and he's an attorney out of San Francisco. And he comes here only on weekends because he's so busy in San Francisco, usually. And she takes great pride in the running of the home. She wants everyone to know that she's the first one. Here's an example, the first one down the stairs, first one in the living room. So she has her maids vacuum sweep any of the other people's footsteps. So only her footsteps vacuum and also rate, so that only her footsteps are the ones that are shown. Those are kind of things. She wanted her guests to have, to be luxurious and to have breakfast in bed, but they had to get up by 10, and dinner was at 7:30, very prompt. And the butler was instructed never to talk to anyone, although guests would try to joke him into giving false orders, with false cocktail orders so that he would talk to them. So it usually didn't work, but they coerced. It was some coercion involved. But he was not to, just to give an idea of how Miss Florence was. She was very strict. She loved this place, and also to consider the wealth. This was only a summer home, only for June to basically end of August, first weekend in September. And this is everything they had for only that short growing season. Okay, that was the kind of wealth they had to enjoy Lake Tahoe. So you imagine that you are back in 1905. Instead of the stone flooring, we have wooden flooring covered with oriental rugs, and the butler is bringing you your favorite cocktail. There's cheese, there's plums, there's grapes, there's crackers, and dinner will be served. Oh, I think it's time. Let's go in. Hey. And you have an opportunity to look at both rooms. This is the south-facing living room, and this is the north-facing dining room. So we have Mr. Isaiah Hellman here, and without him, nothing of this would have been possible. And remember, he is born in 1842, dies in 1920. This is his son, Isaiah Jr. He also dies in 1920. Esther Hellman dies in 1908. She is the mother of the 3 children and Mr. Hellman's wife. Isaiah is his wife. And we have Florence, who's 17. Sydney is not in the picture because he's not considered family yet because they're not yet married. They will get married next year. This is her sister, Clara, and her husband as well. All right. So, and he let her, but this was her baby. He didn't enjoy the running of it. But he let her do it. And I don't think, that was how it was. Yes. She ran everything. Extended 30 feet, right where I'm standing here today. There is a special kind of wood that is in the ceiling and in the walls. And I would like a volunteer to tell me what it is. Guess what it is?
Is it bamboo?
Bamboo? You're so... No.
Wow.
No.
Redwood?
Yes, who said redwood? 5 stars. Yay, good job. Yes.
So you mentioned that the table can seat 30 and can extend to 35,
30 feet.
30 feet, okay.
Correct. Heart pine, redwood, hand woven, ceiling and walls. The grass matting is also in the room, and the beams are painted to look like redwood. And if we flip over here, there's pine on the ceiling, and it could be painted like mahogany. Now, does everyone see the screen back there? The butler would be looking through the slats because he was seen, not heard. He was definitely not heard. But he had to jump at a moment's notice if a guest needed extra refilling of wine or to clear a plate or anything. And he and two maids would be working the table service there for the 7:30 dinner. All right. And all of the furniture placement was found, they discovered how everything was through pictures. There's an old picture of the living room over here on the left, and a picture of the dining room on the right. Someone asked me on the tour, how do they know? Well, pictures were one thing, and also they interviewed the servants before they died in the 1980s. So they would know how it was back then. Because things moved rather quickly, and this was a very private residence. We didn't know, I mean, not a whole lot was shared if you were part of the family. So this one was sold to the state in 1965. When it was sold, everything that was not bolted down, and there are a few things that are not bolted down, such as curtains, and there's a bottle of wine, that remains, was taken by the family or sold at auction by Butterfield and Butterfield. So what could not be taken away? What is nailed down? That would include ceiling fixtures, such as these hand-hammered chandeliers from Spain, the mantle, which the tile is from Mercer County, Pennsylvania, the floor, which is oak from Sacramento, the granite, which is from here, from the Sierra Nevadas, and from just up the road in East Bay, and what is covering the walls. So the walls are in Maybeck red. That is the original color from Mr. Hellman in 1903, and Florence changed them to a light pastel and white over lavender. It was lavender plaster. But then it was reverted for the 100th anniversary in 2003. And I see that my hat kind of matches. Yeah, I was trying to do more of a park hat, but I forgot it. So this is the one I have at home. If you see me on Legacy Day, this is my music hat, the one I wear all the time. My anniversary will be August 12th. If anybody has local family here, I want to share that. And you just go to Sierra State Parks Foundation or sierrastateparks.org, and you can find out all the wonderful events. We have a new website. It's exciting. So that's pretty cool. We have an original telephone in that room, and we also have an original telephone directory. We have a mail slot, which is now a donation slot for Sierra State Parks Foundation, and we have a guest log if you'd like to do that. Does anyone have any questions about these two rooms? Do you have a question? Let's see, let's start here. I already went through everything. And then I'll get you back up here. Yeah, we're going to go up and then we're going to go down. And then I'm going to, I want you to be part of downstairs. I'm going to get my I'm going to go with these ends and then we're going to go some pictures. Is that something?
This elevator was installed in 1958 to help with Miss Florence's mobility issues. How cool is that? Especially since it stands right between the staircase. Over here you can see there's like a gate that you can slide open, and you can also see the buttons on the railing that control, and then there's a bench as well. And it's just really cool elevator. That is one impressive piece of technology.
That's my room. 8 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. North Tower was where the original Hellmans were. And when Miss Hellman, Esther Hellman died, Mr. Hellman, Isaias moved to that end. Sydney and Florence were always at that end. And you'll see their rooms. And their son-in-law and daughter Esther, as a gift to the newlyweds, had that room. That room is white because it would brighten Esther's spirits when she was suffering from emphysema. I know the mountain air helped, but also the mountain elevation probably did not. I got a little winded just coming up the stairs. I'm like, that's weird, but we're at 6,000 feet. And I'm talking a lot. So that's that wing. The bathrooms were all go into the water tower, electrified, heated, and then flumed over, and that's how they got their water and electricity. It was a really ingenious system that Mr. Mulholland of Mulholland Drive, you know, that movie, yeah, okay. But Mulholland Drive, that fellow was an actual real fellow, and he was an associate of Mr. Hellman. So and Hellman wanted the comforts of home. And he got it. Yeah. He got it here. The power would leave from 7 to 10. Only be from 7 to 10, and the power would start going out. Let's see.
Why is that?
That was all they had.
Just the running time?
The running time. It was the running time, right. Thank you for that question. Yeah. The running time, and then everybody got on the grid in 1927. Including Mr. Caretaker, and I'm sure he was probably thrilled about that. I'm thrilled. Other things to note, horsehair mattresses low to the ground had to be shaken out. So these are all examples of low mattresses that you can see. They had that style until the 1960s. And I'm sure they upgraded, but then what we see is what they had before. But we don't see the new stuff, which got auctioned off. Also, we have twin beds. That was customary of the time. Married couples as well. There is a double bed, or maybe it looks a little bit more than a double bed in Hellman-Ehrman's room. Okay. Sidney had his own bedroom because Florence was working a lot and disturbing his sleep. So he worked a lot too, but she was on the phone doing supply orders for the home, running things, and she kind of disturbed him a little bit, and he had to have his own place right next to her. So they still shared a bathroom and everything like that, but now he had his own sanctuary. He had his desk where he conducted his San Francisco law business. He had his own bed, his own couch, and I think that's one of my favorite rooms because it's so uniquely Sydney, and I like Sydney. So, yeah, that's not the way. He's just a cool person. And Florence would use that telephone. Please look for the telephone in that room. And one time that they couldn't get the telephone, someone connect to the telephone downstairs, so they rang her telephone, and she yelled at the man. He said, "Why did you do that? Because I have to keep this line open, and you're tying up my line." So, yeah, so that's how busy she was running the home for only 3 months. But it was also a lot of work before and after. She had to keep things going for the whole year. It wasn't just over 3 months, it was the whole year of what you have to do to make sure that the ice and
To keep it
maintained, right? So it wasn't just, it was for the rest of the year. And for supplies and food and everything like that. All right, I'm gonna turn you all loose. If you have any questions, please bother me. That's what I'm here to do. Okay, you're loose. Yes.
So, who built this house? Like, who built this?
Isaiah Hellman built this house.
So he worked with the team. Oh, he's a banker. Okay.
He's a banker, yeah.
Okay. Did he also design this house?
Fayville and Bliss out of San Francisco, 2 architects designed this house.
Wow.
Fayville, Favill, and Bliss.
Thank you.
Question?
Thank you. The master bedroom's down here?
Yeah, that's the 2 master bedrooms with the master of the masters down there. Yeah, the north tower. Actually, would you like to be the volunteer to close it? You'll have to be at the very end of the group.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
You just wanted to know when we were.
It's a big group, so I won't be able to come back.
Yeah.
Hey, Peter.
Okay.
Did you see that closet?
she left her kids in the care of William Betty. So my guess is that they knew they had a close relationship, in order for her. They talked, they shared, they had a heck of a lot in common.
Did the wagon accident cause them to like delay? and
That's
not-
correct,
not go
that's
over?
correct.
Yeah.
Well, it was how last year here is first snows were October 22nd.
Wow, yeah.
So this was early and it was often, I figured she had the rain in the valley, snow erosion, so.
And I'm working downtown San Jose, and when I first worked there,
Look, that's to ring the, do you think that's for lights or is that to ring for the house?
yeah, it's right on near Third Street.
And it's near, the greenhouse, right?
Maybe after a few years, and they built apartments that owned about 100 lots.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out, thank you, yeah. Yeah, I do have a picture. So we got Lynch's River, we've got Belleville, Isabella, St. Louis, Petaluma, San Jose, and of course here. Yes.
She wanted me to shut the door.
Don't touch him.
Yeah, either way.
Okay, everyone come in and
Oh, whole nother room.
Don't touch anything,
Area.
okay?
This is the servants' wing. And the stairs on your left went up to their rooms. And I'll explain that when everyone is with me. Okay, all right, we're all here. The stairs to the attic, actually it's not the attic, it's the servants' quarters. 16 people lived up there. There is a full bathroom, sink, toilet, bathtub. 16 people, that means bunk beds, 4 rooms. Yeah, they didn't spend a lot of time in there, but they had good accommodations, enough space, and their bathroom was also supplemented by this bathroom. Okay, but the Miss Florence and her family and Dusty did not come here, okay? She would not, unless there was something wrong, I would say, okay? She would not be a part of this. The butler was in charge, and you'll see there's a window right here on the right, that's where the boats would come in, and he would monitor that. Downstairs, we haven't seen yet, but in the kitchen, there was a clock for him to make sure all the meals would be done on time. So I just want to point your attention to that when that comes up. Behind me is the sewing/linen room, where quick changes of buttons and ironing could be done. But the major cleaning was done over by the visitor center. We have the trunk room here, where the guests would have the servants take their trunks and deposit them here. Now, the guests wouldn't deposit their own trunks, it would be through the servants. And we also have a nanny's room where small children, babies would stay with the nanny, and there's an option of not having the nanny, with your child, but that was always an option. And there's a little potty chair off to the far right. I want you to look at that if you can see that. And then we'll be going down the stairs, and I'll make sure the gentleman downstairs gets our tour too. So I'm going to grab him. Okay. So, but I'm going to lead everyone first down the stairs, and I'm going to lead y'all to tour for you on the ceilings. This is the cook's room, which is closed off because of earthquake damage. It's a nice room. There's nothing, it's a nice room. It has a slanted ceiling, and it's big. And then this one has the linen closets. We're gonna go down the stairs. This is where all the magic happened, food-wise. We have a gas stove, electric stove, pantry, bakery area, meat grinder, toaster, old-fashioned toaster. Don't get your hands stuck in there. All the food is fake. I know somebody was probably asking that question.
That's what was in my mind.
Yeah, I know. I know it was in your mind. I know.
I was like, are they real?
I know.
Because they look real.
And that's the servants' dining room right over there. Okay, once everyone's down the stairs, I'm gonna grab the gentleman, okay? So, Stay where you are. Everything here is on the tour, okay? So just hang out.
Oh, that's cool. The clock is ticking.
Look at this old-fashioned toaster. You make your toast. The KitchenAid mixer. Who was in this KitchenAid?
I never knew what old-fashioned toast was.
Let's go see the servants' dining area. Like, yeah.
You can see how impressive this old fridge is, especially with the mechanics on top.
They recognize from the grandma's kitchen or aunt's kitchen or mom's kitchen.
Yes, I see.
My grandma had a stove like salt.
Yeah.
I recognize the coffee grinder I used as a kid.
I still
Very
recognize
smooth.
They're not really things.
Refrigerator was installed in 1945. Before that was the icebox, which is over there yonder. You can see it right there. Also in 1945, the gas stove was installed. There was a wood stove before. The floors were ruined a little bit, the linoleum, because of the cook didn't know that lime did not interact well with linoleum, so she was using lye soap to, yeah, lye's pretty harsh. Clean the floors.
So like right here, looks like
Yeah, you're right, yeah. I had a heck of a time pulling drawers without hardware. So now I was like, what kind of hardware is this? It's like, I can't pull the drawer. So now I look, it's like, these are such nice. It's like, now you can put your fingers in them. I mean, but they're really well designed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not being funny, it's
No.
really, it's attention to detail.
It's funny that you said it's real that way too. We're very picky.
What is it?
No, it's just an old table. Oh, we're talking about underneath the sink.
So there, right here you can see the area where it was the fan, the
Oh.
exhaust. So there was an exhaust outside to make sure that there's no fires. And if you live here, it's very important to clean your dryer, your vents in your dryer. I didn't know that every time, not like, every month. Every time. And also, you always clean it every time?
Well, he does.
Oh, I didn't know how to do that. That wasn't a habit. That's a new thing for me. And the other thing is that because of, if you live here year round, you have to make sure that your exhaust areas are, maybe you have to build a little house so you don't have carbon monoxide of the snow plants. In the wash house, which was on the upper floor of the visitor center, was not the visitor center at the time, but that was the steam room, and the steam laundry was done upstairs by Chinese launderers. And they went up and down the stairs to get the laundry done. It was all the power was done over there. Thank you for that question.
So that's where they did it?
Yes, where you got your tickets.
Ah, okay.
And you see the big tower, and it was steam powered by water from the creek.
That's impressive.
That was something very important that Mr. Hellman, of course, that's why he built the property where he built. It wasn't random, because he had to make sure it was close to the creek for the power. So everything was consulted and everything was done.
Great, thank you.
And he got the best people on it. He's not an engineer, he's a banker, but he knew, well, I don't know enough about that, so I'm gonna get the best people. And he got Mr. Mulholland from LA to help him with that.
When was the last major?
So they go back to preserve, restore, and maintain the house.
Oh, nice.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
And they pay me so I can educate you.
Yeah.
It's all circle life. It's all love. And donations are always accepted. So you can go to SarahStateParks.org. You can donations through the register up there or cash donation. So anything you want to do, definitely to help preserve the house and the houses that we have. Keep us blue shirts, keeping us. Yes, exactly. And sharing California history with y'all. Ceilings or anything that was taken away. The fridge is original.
This over here is the dining room. Extremely large sinks.
There's chests and checkers and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
The boat's still in the boat, isn't it? Look at the boat. I was looking at
Really divided. There are books, podcasts, anything you want to get your hands on.
It's a great museum. You should check it out. And Donner Lake is named after them, and then Donner Summit.
And Mr. Donner never saw all this, because it's like Moses, he never saw the top of sand. Yeah, he never saw it.
Interesting.
And there's books, and you can check them out at the gift shop. So that's, Wikipedia is also interesting. I know, but that's
We've
the
come to
foundation.
Tahoe many times. At this time, we were trying to do different things. Even though Michael and I have been here, these kids and grandkids haven't been here. But it's interesting to learn
How long are you in town?
till Friday. Or wait, till
So is it a chance for you to go see Donner Memorial? Just 40 minutes up the road. Are you staying locally?
When in Clinton.
Okay,
And
so it's less than 40 minutes from Incline Village. So it could be about 30. So way to go. We got to visit. All right, and the hours are the same.
we're trying to do different things this time that we've all done.
Yeah, and you'll have and you can ask one of the state interpreters, and there could be a volunteer there to give the tours. Yeah, they have volunteer tours versus because they don't have a house tour, so they have everything like that. Okay, so back to the Pine Lodge. Does anyone have any questions about Pine Lodge? I was answering some questions about Donner Memorial. So,
What's left of the family?
great question. So there are some family members in Paris, and there's some in California. But they don't have, there's no reunions or anything like that. I mean,
No claim.
if someone, no claim, if someone comes and they say, hi, I'm a Hellman relative, we would be, oh wow, let me take your picture, but they're not coming because it was sold to the state. But we'd love for them to, to come and visit. That would be always encouraged. Yeah, but yeah, it's not a prevalent thing. Yes.
How many people lodged at this place until it closed?
Okay, so I don't know how many people cumulatively, but you could have 16 people as guests comfortably.
Wow.
Yeah, but there could be up to 50 people around, as guests, but they would not all stay or eat at the table. I mean, a lot of them would be hanging out in the game room or on the porch, relaxing. They couldn't accommodate, but they could all be fed. But the table only accommodates them.
What's the size of the full staff that would have to be at its prime?
Well, I would say there was 16 who lived, and you could probably have some overflow, maybe 20 to help. But I mean, if you have too many, they'll just get in each other's way. So around 16 would be just, including the butler, maybe 17, somewhere around there. Good questions. Okay. All right. Final thing. Thank you again for supporting Sierra State Parks Foundation and for California State Parks and enjoying the home. I really enjoyed being a tour guide today. If you follow that path towards the lake, you will see what I pointed out to you with General Phipps, the outhouse, the boathouse, the ice house, and then if you go to the right, you'll take a nice leisurely walk that'll take you to the boathouse, another boathouse, and a racing boathouse, and then it'll land you right in the parking lot for bathrooms. Okay? So I don't want you to leave and not do that. All right? Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Great meeting y'all, okay? Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you so much. So this is the woodshed. Well, y'all, that's going to do it for today. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll see you next time on the GTAdventures Tahoe Edition. Peace out.